It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Today's just a quick video, and I want to talk about production print. Okay, all the OEMs are showing all their gear all over the world. Everybody's all excited about production print. There's some phenomenal excitement going around industrial print capabilities, and just the whole print at that higher end is pretty cool. But you know what's making it really cool? Inkjet technology. So here's what I want to share with all of my dealer friends that are out in the marketplace trying to solve business problems. Okay? There is production business print out there. But let's be honest, folks, that business model is getting completely disrupted. It's getting more disrupted than the business print model. And the way I listen to the market talk about it, I don't believe we're paying attention to the disruption that's going on right now in production print. And it scares me, because if I'm a dealer and I'm listening to some consultant telling me, go out there and get into production print, that's going to be your diversification, you got to ask yourself, what logical person in the world wants to jump out of one disrupted deliverable into another disrupted deliverable? Unless, of course, they're the disruptor. But I don't hear the consultants or the analysts talking about how dealers are going to go into the marketplace and disrupt production print. Be one of the disruptors around production print. They're telling you to get into production print like it's still the year 2000 or 1990. It's ludicrous to me. Business print's you're already in a disrupted marketplace. You got to reinvent yourself and figure out how you're going to survive. And they're telling you diversify into production print like it's still 1990 or 2000. Here's the reality. There's two big disruptions going on right now in production print. Two big ones. And dealers should pay attention to these two big disruptions and then build a business model around these two business disruptions. But make sure you get all the facts. The first disruption is this. Those enterprise businesses that used to have the big iron down in the basement, guess what? They're not printing near the volumes anymore because nobody's going back to the office. And what's left? They're outsourcing. There are some dealers in the marketplace that have built complete, robust print facilities, and they're bringing their customers' print volume that used to be in the basement into their office, and they're doing it for them. And folks, this is making a lot of sense for a lot of companies. There's a market play here. The other big disruption is ink. Ink is going to completely destroy the production print business as we knew it in the year 2000. It'll completely destroy it. It's going to obliterate it. Because here's the reality. The better these ink machines get, guess what? They don't need service. Our friends at Epson have some equipment. Our friends at Rizzo have some equipment. The Kyocera with that Task Alpha 15000C. This ink technology is nothing like the laser. There's no heat. Service calls. Sooner or later, I think in 5 or 6 years from now, these machines aren't even going to need service. It's going to be very little to accommodate the production business print that's out there. And dealers need to really understand this. If you're going to build a business model to diversify your deliverable, please be the disruptor. Don't go into a business that's already being disrupted and just fall victim to the disruption again. You're already doing that with your business print. And I wish our consultants would pay attention to some of this stuff and look at some real deep, hard numbers and facts before we start telling dealers to jump into this or jump into that. Because the bottom line is simple. It's real simple, folks. We can't diversify into something that's not profitable, that can't stand on its own. The days where we could take the business print money and use that to cover up for poor management or bad decisions are over with. Business print's falling off a cliff. Whatever that diversification is, it has to be able to stand on its own, and you have to be able to account for all those costs. And ink will definitely change the game. Will definitely change the game. And if you're someone with Epson, you're someone with Rizzo, the Kyocera, Task Alpha 15000C, and you want to share some real numbers based on real life scenarios, I'd love to see them. I'd love to be able to talk about them. Let's focus on the differences in the cost between laser and ink. And I'm not talking about what the OEMs say. I'm talking about real life stuff. The problem with the OEMs, when they come up with their cost calculators, they expect the dealers to do everything perfect. I mean, they don't expect a dealer to have a first call effectiveness of 40%. They expect it to be 100%. They expect the dealer to have the part So when the machine needs a part replaced, it's replaced. It's fixed the first time and all these things. And if the dealerships don't have that maturity level to do that, they don't have the human capital in place to make sure they understand how to fix this stuff, guess what? Drives up the cost. So we need to understand the true cost, the real cost, our dealership's cost. We need to understand, how is this market being disrupted? Do I want to get into a market and be disrupted? Or do I want to get in the market and be the disruptor? I want you all to think about it this way. Think about our friends in the print sector that are consulting with some IT folks, and they're trying to get the IT folks to come in and start selling managed print services. I just laugh my ass off every time I hear this. Why in the world would any company say, oh, that's fantastic, I want to diversify into managed print services? I want to diversify into a business model that's being completely disrupted and destroyed. That sounds like something I want to do. Now, that IT provider might want to come into that marketplace and be the disruptor, but they damn sure don't want to come into a new marketplace and get disrupted. That's just pure stupidity. Maybe they want to come into the marketplace and say, the hell with managed print services, just click buy now with me. The hell with a service contract, we don't have those. When you need something, just call me up, we'll come out and do it for you. We'll charge you that way. You don't run enough volume to worry about paying per click. There'll be a disruption in the print in all aspects of it. But when you think about your diversification, think about it this way. Do I really want to diversify into something that's being disrupted? Unless, of course, I'm the disruptor. Just some things to think about, my friends, because we all know this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.